Welcome back to the Rogue Sun podcast. This is a show where me and Ali today, we gather and talk about Rogue Sun, a book we love by Ryan Parrott and Abel. Yeah, today, like I said, I'm joined just one other guy. We got a little duo going today. But Ali's joining me today. So how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Got a long weekend, so happy Memorial Day to anyone who celebrates.
Yeah,
Been sinking my teeth into Claire Obscure Expedition 33 recently. It's a pretty good game, like everybody says. Believe the hype is true. But
good.
today we're here to talk about Rogue Sun, and not just one of them, but two. So how you been, Charlie? I see you're in a new place, new room.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been moved into this new house for a few weeks, but I had to do some painting and getting this new office set up. So yeah, like we're talking about, it's a little empty right now. We got some echoes going, but just gonna have to deal with it for a little bit. Getting my bookshelves in here soon, so hopefully
Awesome.
that'll fix some things. But yeah, it's going good, and always, obviously, Rogue Sun makes the week a little better too. So that was awesome that coming out, and yeah, we got an awesome issue here. But before we dive in, I'll just give a little credits for this issue. Kind of regular here, we got Ryan Parrott and Nick Cotton doing the writing. We got Abel and Bruno Frenda on arts again. We got Natalia Marquez coloring, Becca Carey, Osner
Eisner,
nominated.
yeah, Eisner Award, yeah, nominated
Yeah,
exactly.
very exciting, very excited. So shout out to her. And then we got Stefano Simeone and Marcelo Costa on the covers. We're continuing those kind of retro covers, which and yeah, this week's was pretty awesome. It was the it was the uncanny Rogue Sun
Yes,
kind of
yes.
homage, and that's kind of what's in our background here. Yeah, and then we got Wesley Griffith on production artist, phonographics, Michael Pisuto, Kyle Higgins, the now titled Massiverse creative director, and Rogue Sun created by Ryan Parrott and Abel. So yeah, kind of we'll dive right into here right away. Obviously on the cover we get Noxious back. He was kind of set up a couple issues ago, but he's
Mhm.
continued to develop in this issue, and he kind of got a cool spotlight on this. And yeah, we'll talk about kind of get into him later. But yeah, first off, what do you think of this training scene here between the two Rogue Sons as we now have?
It was pretty cool. It's definitely different to see Dylan in a more mentor role. You don't really who you go to for advice, anything like that. But it seems like he's got the hang of Rogue Sun. He's been Rogue Sun for about 2 years now, I would say, in universe time. So he definitely got experience. And yeah, he's kind of kicking her ass. And then it's funny because it's not just two people training; it's more like four people training, and they're all trying to talk over each
Yeah.
other and tell each other what to do. But also, like the Rogue Sons are like, we got it. I know what I'm doing. I've been training by this my whole life. In Aurie's case, so it's definitely a cool dynamic to see both Rogue Sons going at it with their mentors in their own respective heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I really like that too. Cool dynamic here. I think this is kind of the way Dylan would want to be trained, or that's what I
Hmm.
think. Like he's going really hard, kind of teaching her the basics as he knows it. But yeah, we kind of get the difference also of approaches between Dylan and Ari, and the difference of approaches between Marcus and Caleb as well. Like they all have
Yes.
such different approaches, and yeah, Dylan's all just die. He's swinging that Morning Star around. But yeah, looks like he's getting the hang of that, which is cool.
Also, I
And
don't know how
yeah, what's up?
intentional this was because I remember last time when we talked on issue 26,
Yeah,
it's a little bit hard times to like immediately tell which Rogue Sun it is. But in this issue, I feel like they added a purple kind of hue to Ari's armor. And it's pretty consistent throughout the book, not just in the training sequence. Like every time she's on the screen, there's a little bit of like a purple tint to her armor, kind of set Dylan's, like jet black and fire kind of thing.
yeah. Actually, I had that in my notes too. I noticed that right
Nice.
away. Yeah, kind of a purple here, and yeah, they did a really good job with doing that, which yeah was kind of nice to be able to clearly tell them apart in this one. But yeah, we get them kind of bonding here, and Dylan and Ari, they're trying to make excuses so they don't get caught by Juliet, obviously, who's kind of been very very protective of Ari, like didn't want her to get the stone in the first place, like we know. So Ari's kind of trying to hide it. Probably wouldn't be a great reaction to, which yeah, definitely
No,
makes sense. But
definitely
yeah,
not.
it's cool them bonding too. And Dylan going back to school, he's, I don't know, kind of being a little more responsible in this issue, which is kind of funny, or I don't
Mature
know,
for
maybe,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
mature. He's definitely maturing. And Ari's kind of the opposite here. All she's thinking about, all she wants to do is this Rogue Sun stuff. I love this aspect here she brings in of just wanting to play detective a little bit, because obviously from Dylan, we've seen next to none like any detective work or anything whatsoever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's cool seeing her do it. And I don't know about you, but when Marcus and Dylan are in the car here driving, like all I could think about was just Ghost Rider, kind of just pulling the
Oh,
flames on
yeah.
that car.
It's
And
it's a similar looking car, yeah, for sure.
yeah, that'd be very cool. But yeah, he's kind of Marcus and Dylan have this pretty interesting conversation just about taking care of Ari and keeping an eye on her. And obviously, Marcus knows that Caleb is bad news.
Hmm.
But I just love kind of how he said, like Marcus says, like, you're the most defiant like person ever, and like he took over you and kind of screwed you over. And what do you think kind of he can do to Ari and convince her to do? So I think, yeah, that's definitely foreshadowing a little
I
bit.
like that they Marcus here to me, like throughout this whole issue and the training scene to it, it kind of grounds Ari a little bit because before she got the Rogue Sun armor and the Demonica powers, she was almost looked like as the perfect ideal child of this family who is meant to be the future Rogue Sun, and Dylan is kind of the fuck up who kind of got it for reasons no one really knows yet. So it's nice to have her kind of humanized a little bit more by Marcus saying, she's not as calm as it seems. She's always kind of seeking approval from me, her parents. Now that she's kind of getting a taste of it, he's scared of, how much is she willing to give up to achieve that dream that she's been preparing for her whole life.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I was actually thinking about that a little, and it did remind me too a lot of like I think it was issue like 3 or 4 when she goes and takes that deal and breaks out Demonica
Oh
to
yeah,
grab the
yeah,
stone. Like it shows kind of yeah,
desperation
she
almost,
can
right?
get, yeah, a little desperate at some points. But yeah, it was interesting back then. Actually, I read a line, and basically she said she wants the stone back so she can save her dad and
Mm,
kind of, I don't know, revive him back to life or something. But so it's interesting her now just having it, and it doesn't really seem like that intent anymore.
mhm.
She wants to go full Rogue Sun, which is cool. But yeah, Dylan, he goes back to the high school. It's been a while since we've been back here, so it was cool. But yeah, what would you think of this run in with Miss Vanessa here? I haven't seen her in a bit either.
It's interesting, but it kind of I kind of do sympathize with Vanessa a little bit here because ever since he did get the Rogue Sun, he has been very hot and cold with her, and deservedly so. He has been going through a lot in his life. I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but it is what it is, and there is. I feel like they're kind of treading this line of will he tell her, will he not? Like it feels like every time Vanessa shows up, they get a little bit like kind of take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You know what I mean? And then I feel like
Yeah,
eventually it's gonna lead to her finding out that he is Roxanne, whether it's through she gets in danger and he has to save her, or he's at he just confesses to her at some point. But I feel like it will happen. It's definitely a big comic trope that we've seen in many, many, many
yeah.
other titles. But it's something to look forward to, and I hope if there's anyone outside of the Bell family that it would be her. If this is a relationship that we are going to see moving forward, I don't want her to get the JJ treatment. Okay.
That's, yeah, no, that's very fair. But yeah, no, Vanessa here, this didn't annoy me, but it definitely yeah, felt like we've kind of had this conversation
Hmm.
a couple times. And yeah, I'm just kind of thing about Vanessa, just to leave him and just forget about him. Like, I don't know, he's, I wouldn't say a lost cause at this point, but even if he reveals his identity to her, I don't like, it's just putting her in more danger. I don't know if that's really gonna get anywhere but yeah, actually, something I also wanted to mention before we kind of move on is in the intro scene when Caleb's kind of training Ari in her head and teaching her what to do. He kind of show her like or was talking to her about like this move that he used. And I forget if the move had a name or something, but it was him grabbing the mace and him basically saying, "Oh yeah, I used this move against the Water Knight back in my day."
Hmm.
He basically said the
Yeah,
Water
yeah.
Knight, and that I don't know if that was
Good
a
catch.
tease of anything, but I'm like, oh, could we have like different elements coming, something like that? But
The
yeah, I thought
water
that was
sun, the
kind of a cool
lightning
mention.
sun, or something. Yeah.
I don't know if you go that far, but yeah, I'm in for it. That'd be kind of fun.
We got different colored rogue suns, pretty
There
much.
you go. But yeah, so again, like this last couple times they've had this conversation, basically Dylan just says something stupid and Vanessa gets mad. And then Dylan kind of shows a little bit of his heart and say, "Oh, you were right. Like, I'm tired of being an asshole." And she's kind of, yeah, has some hope again in him, apparently.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When Ari's walking out of her school, obviously it's a different school than Dylan's, and she's talking to her friends about this party they want to go to, and Caleb says, you might as well go seize opportunities while you still can, but she's like, screw that, I want to go on patrol and do some detective work. But when she powers up, she says Night Sun. So would you say that's her official name? So Dylan is Rogue Sun and she's Night Sun because she gets her
Yeah,
power or her
I think
sunstone
so.
is from Caleb.
I that's how I took it, which is kind of cool. And I think that was his name too. No, was that
Yes,
Caleb's name?
yes,
Yeah, Night
yes,
Sun.
yes.
So yeah, I don't know if that's a good sign or not, but
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure they all had different names. What a
I
few
believe
like last
so.
arc when they were in the
Okay,
Rogue Sun
so
fighting the
maybe it's
different
just
ones from
this
the
set of
past.
armor in particular or something. But yeah, I do
Hmm.
like the kind of they're differentiating the names a little bit. It'll just make them even a little more easier to tell themselves apart, other than just calling each other Rogue Sun.
Hmm.
But yeah, she's kind of Ari here. She's kind of invited to a party, and her friends are telling her to come, and she says, "No, I'm grounded." And Caleb kind of, I don't know, he's offering a little bit of wisdom here, but yeah, he says, "Sounds like you're turning down quite the festivities." And he says, "Yeah, take it from a ghost, seize the opportunities before you. Every second is precious." So he's kind of, although we know he's kind of up to something and he's training her for something, or he's definitely got a different agenda than he's letting on, but he's for some reason, I don't know, looking out for her in a way and egging her on and getting her to go to this
I think
party.
at the
So I
very
thought that was
least,
cool.
compared to Dylan, especially, he respects her. Like I don't think he ever respected
Yeah,
Dylan.
that
Like he
could be.
viewed Dylan as like
Yeah,
a child essentially, but he sees potential in Ari.
that very, yeah, no, that's a good point. But yeah, she just kind of, she says no to the party and she wants to go do some detective work.
Hmm.
So they go back, they go to this, I guess, yeah, the police impound
Impound
where
there.
they keep, yeah, where they keep all the cars, any accidents or crimes or survivors, I guess. And they go to the car that was in last issue that Noxious attacked. And she's trying to get some information, kind of who the victim could be. So they get, I believe, yeah, they get an identity,
Brandon.
Brandon,
Yeah.
yeah, Brandon Rutledge. So they find out he works for a corporation named Syndian.
Yep.
So this is kind of our first incorporation, or kind of in Rogue Sun. Like we haven't really had this side of any like evil companies or anything either. So yeah, I did like this part,
I
and
liked I, I liked the little convo they had, and they go to the like company headquarters or whatever. And Caleb says, "Is this the victim's place of labor? Is he royalty of some sort?"
oh, that was funny. Yeah, no, he was good in this, and yeah, gave a little cool speech on hierarchy and how it's a
Hmm.
natural thing, and I guess he was a noble too. growing up. So, but yeah, that was kind of cool, and they're developing kind of a relationship here, which is I don't know, not something I saw from Caleb, but at the end of the day, you just know he's up to something for
For
sure.
sure. Yeah.
But yeah, they kind of get a name of all the board members, and this is where Ari realizes probably Rutledge isn't the only name on this list of people Noxious could be kind of interested in. So we get a picture of this lady and this guy, and yeah, it looks like she's in her own condo, but she just still has lots of security around
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Like they know this is coming for sure, and yeah, there's lots of security. They get a little over cocky here, and yeah, everything's
Oh,
okay
they
as
had no
long as you got
chance.
your yeah, no chance.
They had no
We've seen this
chance.
guy's powers. But yeah, man, this art's pretty cool. What would you think of the scene of
Oh, it
him
was dope.
breaking in?
Again, listen, if there's one thing, and there's more, but I'm just saying, if there's only one thing that is good about Rogue Sun as a series, is that you get many unique villains with unique powers. And Noxious did not disappoint in this issue. He took care of these guards like it was nothing. I actually loved when he kind of grabbed one of them and had him inhale the air, and then you could see the flesh just melting off the person. Like that was pretty intense. But he didn't go for the kill right away, and then we flipped the page in back into Dottie's shop, and she's talking with Dylan's mom. It's I'm assuming they're in the or like she let her out just for a little bit, kind of to talk because they're friends. I guess like
Yeah,
she really is trying to rehabilitate her and not just let her rot in the jewelry forever or in
no,
the chandeliers forever.
yeah, I agree with that. And she like at the end of the day, and they kind of talk about this, like even though they're friends and stuff, and even if damn, I forget is it Gwen? Yeah, Gwen. Yeah, Gwen. So Gwen's Dylan's mom, and like although they're friends, like the control under of her powers, like they have no idea what kind of control
Mhm.
Morningstar has, and we've kind of seen it before, and we just see her kind of break out and say, "Oh, Morningstar has already won," and she kind of has this big talk. But yeah, that just kind of shows she probably can't be just let out free right now.
Mm-mm.
And yeah. So
Like I
that
wouldn't
was
say she's
kind of
unhinged, but she definitely like can flip that
yeah. She's
switch
on the
real quick.
borderline for sure. Yeah, no, she can flip that switch 100%. Yeah, that was good. And what was the one other? Oh yeah. I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out kind of a little callback. I don't know if we saw this scene, but basically Marcus when they're in the car, they're driving, and Marcus says, "Oh, you got to take Ari to Finnegan Route
Oh
to
yeah.
kind of help
Yeah.
with this curse." And Dylan said, "Yeah, basically we already did, but all he was trying to do was hit on her." And I think I remember seeing, maybe we saw that scene, but yeah, that just kind of reminded me and of Matt's
Oh my god,
favorite
is this
moment in the flashbacks of the marriage scene, right? Maybe
exactly,
this could be
exactly.
leading to something. This is the
Is
only
this a
way. Like
foreshadow,
they end
Ryan?
up
Are you trying
having,
to tell
yeah,
us something?
they end up having no chance. Got to bring him to Finnegan and pay the ultimate price, maybe. But no, that was kind of just a funny callback. But yeah, like you said about this fighting, like Noxious too. I think yeah, probably the most brutal villain we've had. Like the face
Yeah,
melting. We had some
yeah.
pretty gruesome scenes in this one for sure. But yeah, it was cool to see the two Rogue Sons fighting, and like we were saying too, it's awesome to kind of be able to tell them apart and see kind of what they're doing more individually, which
Hmm.
is good. But yeah, they come in here, and finally Ari and Dylan get there to the building. They talk a little bit about before about like having this rogue sun signal, but trying to beat it because when the signal happens, that means something bad already happened. So it's kind of too late at this point. So Ari's that's why she starts her detective work. But yeah. Anyways, they follow this rogue sun signal, I guess, to where Noxious was attacking. They see all these dead bodies. They were a little too late for that at that point. But the lady that was kind of highlighted earlier is still left, and Noxious kind of has her, yeah, hostage right here, choking her out, basically saying, "Don't move." And yeah, this is kind of where we see the splitting kind of approaches of Caleb and Marcus as different leaders. Like they're both kind of waiting there, and Caleb says, "Don't wait for Dylan, like just save her," and then
Yeah.
that's where Marcus says, "You need to work with Aurie." So that kind of doesn't work too well. Like even if they're on the same page, like you have two people in your head like telling you to do two different things. So I thought that was kind of cool for sure. And yeah, this is where we get a pretty crazy scene, which was good. Noxious is kind of, yeah, he's pretty brutal for this, but yeah, he takes this girl, pushes her into the elevator, and then cuts the rope that's holding the elevator, and that's when it starts crashing down. And Ari goes straight for the elevator, which is kind of a weird thing, but I guess it's not that surprising that Ari goes straight for the elevator to save the person, and Dylan goes straight for Noxious to try to beat him up. So yeah, what do you think of that kind of decision there?
I like I'm struggling to see why they both couldn't go after her, especially if Noxious did it as a test, I guess. Like I guess they didn't want to let him go, but you know, it's definitely a tough choice, especially that Ari isn't fully confident in her ability to do it, right? Um, but something I found interesting, and I don't know if this is intentional or not, but when she grabs the elevator and she's trying to hold in, she says, "Oh God, my arms can't," and you kind of see her face through the mask. For some reason, her teeth are jagged; they're pointy. I don't know if that's listen.
Yeah,
I might be like looking into it too much, but again, I looked at her face in the previous panels of the same issue. Her teeth are fine, are straight, they're human teeth. But this is to me this it might be like Demonica's influence still in there, and as she's exerting so much power and she's like kind of losing control over the situation and maybe herself, that this is kind of coming out a little bit. I don't know. I might be thinking about it too much, and it might just be nothing. But again, like why at this specific moment have her teeth look like that?
that's true. Yeah, that's interesting. I did kind of notice that too, but I didn't really think of it in any way. But no, that is interesting.
Because
I
correct me if
do
I'm wrong,
like that.
Demonica is still in there, or like some of her like power or magic or whatever is still infecting Ari, right?
I I can't remember, to be honest. I
I
should
think
go
so. I
back
think
and
it,
yeah.
it never like left her fully.
Yeah, that honestly, yeah, I wouldn't that would make sense. And yeah, that could be kind of a cool twist. Like even if she gets out of this scenario with Caleb, like she still
Mhm.
has that to deal with. But yeah, that could be something to look out for sure. But yeah, Marcus is yelling at Dylan like to go help Ari, and
Yeah,
he kind of like he's not really listening. He just wants to beat up Noxious, which is yeah, not a great move, as we see as Dylan finally ends up going down, and this is where we see the rope snap. So and that's where this issue ends.
it's a nice cliffhanger.
Yeah, good cliffhanger. I'm sure it'll be picked up some sort. Maybe his mace can go down there and like grab it somehow, or I don't know. He's got like a lasso. Who knows?
Where's Radiant
But
Black when you need him? Right,
I
this would
know
have been a piece of cake. You just put gravity power, pull it back
that's
up,
very true.
easy peasy.
Very true. Um, but yeah, so this was crazy cliffhanger. Ari definitely she was trying her best here, so nothing she could have really done. But it was cool to kind of see the extent of Rogue Sun powers too. Like we don't really know like
Mhm.
how strong he is specifically, but obviously we see here they're struggling with a big elevator, which is still a lot of weight, obviously.
Yeah.
But also yeah, the rope snaps, and that's the end. So yeah,
Before we
see.
wrap up, I wanna point to the quote for issue 28 that's on the last page of the book. It says, "I can glimpse the past dot dot dot, and I don't think my stomach is ready for it." Curious whose past they're gonna get into. Could be so many people, but if I had to guess, I'm gonna say Ari. We saw her future in Radiant Black issue 18.
Hmm.
I think it'd be a little interesting to get a little bit more about her upbringing and her kind of formative years, because we've seen that with Dylan, right? Like with him and his dad, with mom and dad, having rough patches, breaking up, getting divorced, and then him growing kind of as a single kid with a single mom. So it'll be interesting to see the other side of that with Aurie.
Yeah, no, I like that, especially like you said, because we've seen Ari's future. So yeah, that
Uh-huh.
could be very cool. I think yeah, maybe we'll see Caleb teach her some kind of rogue sun Sith powers that
Yeah.
Marcus not be aware of. Obviously, we know Caleb's such an experienced rogue sun, so that could be cool, and I would love to see that. Also, amazing cover for issue 28. Or Stefano, just the cover A is amazing with Dylan holding that Morning Star. Um, but yeah, no, that's a very could be a very telling quote, and yeah, that's very intriguing going into next issue too,
Uh-huh.
because I don't know when this arc is wrapping up, but yeah, we're definitely
Well, let me see.
building. We've been building a little bit. We've done a few issues of building now, so I think that could be that could be a cool kind of twist to everything. And also too, reading this, we still haven't seen that conversation with Dylan and his mom that was at the end of 25. We kind of see them meet up, and that was the cliffhanger
Yes.
for that issue, and then it just leaves it there. So I think we're gonna go back to that moment maybe and
So it
see.
looks like we have two more issues in this arc. We got 28 and
Oh,
29.
okay, so we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could be big things
And
coming.
then I don't know if it got delayed, but Radiant Black should be June 4th. Next issue, Radiant Black 34.
Cool. Okay, that's yeah, that's very good. Yeah, this arc kind of yeah, I'm definitely waiting for that big moment to happen. But
Mhm.
it's been a lot of fun development with Dylan and Ari for sure. Having two
Definitely.
Rogue Sons in
I
this.
wonder if it's gonna last. I wonder if we're gonna for at least like the next few arcs, if we're still gonna have two, or we're gonna go back to just Dylan, or we're gonna switch to just Ari.
I hope
We'll go
so,
anywhere.
because yeah, my biggest question still is like even when Caleb kind of gets defeated or whatnot, like to me this to me there's only one sunstone, so that kind of is
Right,
still a
right,
little curious to me, like
right.
how she has these powers. But yeah, they don't seem to really care at this point in time,
Hmm.
or they just don't know. So yeah, I guess maybe we'll find that out in the next couple of issues. But yeah, do you have anything else to add to this issue specifically?
No, not really. It was a pretty good issue. Like I said, the villain is as always pretty cool. Uh, it's gonna be cool to see how they deal with the elevator next time because I don't think they're just
Mhm.
gonna let the person die. Like they
I
definitely have
would
to
be
pull
shocked.
something out there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be a little crazy. And yeah, Noxious kind of is continuing to be a good villain and building up to definitely the most gruesome, but yeah, one of the just most interesting
Yeah,
villains for sure. I like what he's all about, and yeah, I've been loving the Rogue Sun dynamic, and yeah, I'm curious. I I'd like to ask actually the artist about the purple on Ari's costume, but
yeah. Who's the day
the
was
the other
that?
the
I
other
wonder.
thing I wanted to shout out that I couldn't notice at all was kind of the changing of the two artists, because we have Marco and Abel, and I was like trying to flip through and figure out
Yeah,
who
I
did
couldn't tell you
what
either.
page, and man, it's pretty damn seamless now. Like it's very hard to tell, but I'd like to know some of that stuff. So yeah, I think that's it for this issue. Another awesome issue, and going to lead into a big one, I think, with issue 28. So,
Yeah,
yeah, next up, we got Radiant Black coming back, and we'll have this back in a month. In a month,
I
I don't
think the
think it
next
shouldn't be
Rogue
delayed, right?
Sun is June 18th, as of
Okay,
what I can see
nice,
right now.
nice. So
So looking
less than a
good.
month. Okay,
Yeah.
love it. Okay, yeah, I think that's everything, and really appreciate you tuning in. Definitely leave if you have any theories or thoughts or anything you want to say about Rogue Sun. Just leave it down in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. And thanks for tuning in. So yeah, stay roasty.